I'm Brian Diaz with Score More Credit, and this is Credit Repair Basics. All right, so this is a basic process of how the credit reporting system is supposed to work. Okay, you as a consumer borrow money from a lender. The lender reports the amount of credit extended to you, how much you're actually using, your payment history, and other important information to the blockhead credit bureaus. Credit bureaus themselves are they just keep data. They're basically just servers. Okay. It wasn't until within the past decade the FTC did a study on credit reports themselves in order to determine the accurateness, the effectiveness of the credit reporting system. Because if you think about it, as a consumer, you're directly influenced by what the lender reports. Your actual income, where you live, what kind of car you drive, when you'll retire, even your ability to get employed is affected by your credit score. So it became necessary for a consumer to be able to see their credit report. And until just within the past decade, a consumer wasn't allowed to see their credit report. If you applied for a loan, either for a car, for a mortgage, whatever the case may be, they were instructed not even to show you a copy of the credit report. But thanks to the FTC, you can go to annualcreditreport.com and see a copy of your credit report. Don't purchase the scores. That's another video. I'll explain to you why. But those scores are worthless. You really just care about the data on the free credit report itself. Okay. So in a perfect world, you see you get your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. You see that there's some inaccuracies on it. Actually, what the FTC found was that majority of credit reports have inaccuracies on it. According to some studies, as many as 80 to 90% of credit reports have inaccuracies that can actually affect your financial future. So you, as a consumer, you see your credit report, you see that there's an inaccuracy. So you want to dispute with the credit bureaus, you want to dispute with the lender. You want to validate and verify that information. For whatever reason, let's take a hypothetical situation. Let's say that you have a twin brother. Your names are off by just a few letters, James and Jim, for whatever reason. Okay, so you have basically similar names, live the similar addresses. Your social security number is off by maybe one digit, and some of your brother's information is getting reported onto your credit report. He's just not as good at paying his bills as you are. Okay. So you see that there's an accuracy on there. You contact the lender, get a copy of the contract that you supposedly had signed. You see that it's your brother's signature, and you attempt to contact the lender to get everything straightened out. But for whatever reason, you're talking to some guy in India who can't get the manager on the phone. They bounce you back and forth and keep you on hold forever because they just don't want to deal with your problem, because that's how they handle complaints and disputes when it comes to these major lending institutions. So you take your complaint up with the credit bureaus. You send them a copy of your driver's license showing your signature. You send proof of your social security number, proof of your address, with a big long letter explaining how this isn't you and it's being reported on your credit file, and even sending a copy of the credit report to them. Credit bureaus receive this, and because of the way that they interpret the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they interpret the legal department interprets verify as simply verifying that this is the data the lender was intending to submit. Not that they have to investigate the file or anything like that, but just simply that, is this the name that you meant to put in? Is this the date that payment was late? And they simply receive a one-page letter or a fax or email, in which case they have to verify that and send that back to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus, in turn, send you a letter saying this information has been verified. This became a real source of pain for the credit bureaus, for the credit reporting agencies. So what they did was they actually found a way to make money on this. They downsized their staff within the United States, and they actually started outsourcing all this back-end work to countries like India, Jamaica, the Philippines, Costa Rica. Really, only Experian is the one who handles disputes within the continental United States. The other three outsource them to places where English is not their first language, where they can really find cheap labor. Matter of fact, the only way that you can have your information handled within the United States with TransUnion Equifax is if you happen to be a politician, an employee of the credit bureaus themselves, a celebrity, or an attorney. In which case you become a VIP and your stuff is handled domestically. Otherwise, you're sent overseas to where someone is trained to take your dispute, that big letter that you're sending with all that information from the proof that it's not actually you. They take all that information and they turn it into a 2-digit code, and they send it through a system called eOscar. eOscar was once a nonprofit organization, but that the credit bureaus saw as an opportunity for themselves to make some more money. So as they scan this your argument in, send it off to one of these countries outside the United States. This person whose English is not their first language is turning your argument into a 2-digit code, not his. That 2-digit code, not his, goes to the eOscar system. The lender receives it by fax or email, and they are simply verifying that that was the information that they meant to submit in the first place. They don't see the entire rest of your argument that you had sent in. Although, according to my interpretation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and probably to the FTC's interpretation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that's the way it was originally meant to be. They're supposed to see the entire argument. However, that's not the way that the credit bureaus are interpreting it, and here's why. When the credit bureaus receive a dispute, they send out the verification to the lender. The lender has to pay them 25 cents per item. So let's say it's you had a total of 4 inaccuracies on that credit report. They're actually making $1. But they're only paying 40 to 50 cents. Doesn't seem like a big deal until you take into the fact that there's tens of millions of disputes happening every single year. It became a major profit source for them. So this is the initial problem with the credit reporting system, with the credit repair itself, and why you need to hire a professional. It actually gets a little bit more intricate than this. They took actually extra measures. When they scan your argument in to send it send it overseas. It's kind of like concertina wire. They scan it in. The system that they use to scan it actually reads the letter, and if it looks like a templated letter, like one that they might have received over the that you can print off the internet from any one of these hundreds of sites that have their credit repair system software where you can go online and fill out an online application and send out the dispute. If their system interprets that letter to be one of those templated disputes, they actually take the full 30 days and then bounce back your letter as frivolous. So they've actually put up an extra roadblock here in order to, again, reduce their own overhead costs as far as having to deal with your disputes. So this is the inherent problem with the credit repair system as is.